Hey, Boomer.
Hey, good morning. Another Victory Monday, man. This is getting old, isn't it?
Yeah, thy number one seed. Thy name is Patriots. However you say it, we're sitting pretty this morning here.
Well, I'll tell you, it is. It's amazing. And even when, maybe you're not playing your best game or you make a mistake here or there, and you can still win, and you can win against a very good team who's maddening, to say the least, the Atlanta Falcons. All I could say is that this is the way it's supposed to go. There are a lot of games during the Belichick and Brady eras where they didn't play their best game, but they still won. And that's exactly what this was. I mean, I thought that their defense and their offense made the plays in the fourth quarter at the end of the game in order to seal the game. And they won it that way when the game really did, obviously was on the line. But I mean, like, even Drake Maye after the game was like, he's not happy with the way he plays. He's got to play better. I took too many sacks. I had to sack and fumble for the return that, put Atlanta back in the game. I love that attitude because, here's a kid, and you guys know this just like I do, and Patriot fans know this. He's got 8 straight games where he's got over 200 yards or more passing, and his rating is 100 or higher. And there's only, I think, been 4 guys that have had that many games in a season in a row like that. And Aaron Rodgers holds a record. He had 12 back in 2011. He won the MVP. And the other guys, were Aaron Rodgers again, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning. This guy is in some very, very lofty company.
Well, time to get this week's Drake Take from Boomer, which is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Together, let's drive. We saw Mike Vrabel go over and talk to him specifically after that second turnover. How important is that when it comes to a young player?
Yeah, 100%. Most important thing. And, he only had the interception and the fumble, but I look at his overall playing for the first 8 weeks of the season, and he's been everything that we thought he was going to be. And to have the communication with, Vrabel's not going to back down either. Come on, he's, a former player, and he was a head coach, down. He was around Bill O'Brien, too, by the way, in Houston, and then became a head coach in Tennessee. So he knows how to deal with players. And I think Drake is a kid that he could really talk to, just like Bill could really talk to Tom. And again, I'll just reiterate it over and over and over again until I'm blue in the face. The Josh McDaniels play design, the play calls, it's 3rd and 5. The guys on the air are saying, they should run it here, keep the clock running. And I'm like, put the ball in the guy's hands and let him make a play and win the game.
Yeah.
That's what Josh did with Drake, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've really gotten fully into it with you, but Shime gives virtually 0 credit to Josh McDaniels.
Wow.
For where Drake Maye is. I don't want to speak for you, Shime, but
why is this, Shine? What's up your ass?
Well, no, Boomer, it's just like we could have iced the game on the drive prior if they just put the ball in Drake Maye's hand. Instead, we're running some cutesy swing pass out to the left.
Well, I mean, Drake Maye has got to negotiate the defensive end that's going to be jumping up trying to knock the ball down. I mean, still player execution at the end of the day. And by the way, if he throws it and they catch it, it's probably a first down, and you probably win it right there. But that's why you have defense, Shine. And the only thing I can tell you is that a quarterback coach is like a psychologist. He's got to sit down every day of the week and prepare his patient for the upcoming game. And he's got to deal with the ups and the downs, the negatives, especially within the game. And he's got to be able to calm the guy down, and he's got to put forth a plan where he's going to get the most out of the player that he's making that plan for. And I'm just telling you, knowing all I know about coaches and relationships, you could ask every great quarterback in this league that has ever played, and they'll tell you that the guy who's calling the plays and the guy that they deal with every single day is the most important person in their life to help them get to where they can go.
Boomer, we talk about Drake Maye's pocket presence, but just walk us through being a former quarterback when sometimes that pocket presence can lead to you taking sacks, and what he might have to do a little bit different to get out of some of those sacks that he's taking because he's kind of looking to make a play downfield.
He's just got to get that part out of him. One of the great things about Tom Brady when he was at his height there in New England is that the ball came out quickly. And you're watching Joe Flacco do that in Cincinnati now. The older they get, the more they realize the ball's got to get out. You got to make your decision. You got to find your guy, and it's okay to take a check down. You don't have to always force everything down the field. The problem with him, it's not a problem. It's a good thing because he wants to be aggressive. It's like Jackson Dart for the Giants. It's like Jaden Daniels for the Washington Commanders. Same thing with C.J. Stroud. the play never ends for them yet. You know, they haven't learned to live to play another down. And they'll learn it, and he'll learn it, and it will be driven into his head. And the more tape he watches of himself, the more conversation that he has with Josh McDaniels, the more he starts to understand how these things can hurt the team, then the better he'll be when it comes to decision-making, because that's really what it comes down to. The other thing I will say is that he is fearless. I don't ever want to, you know, that's the number one thing. He's got poise. He's fearless. And, you know, that's also something that, you know, he feels like he's invincible right now, which is a really good attribute to have when you're a quarterback in this league. In other words, nothing's too big for him.
Boomer, when he was explaining the interception, he said it was a miscommunication between he and Hunter Henry. Who do you put that more on, the veteran in Hunter Henry or the young Drake Maye?
All right, Courtney, it's always on the receiver's fault. You're never going to get me to blame the quarterback on any of these, especially when they're playing as well as he's playing. I don't know. I mean, and I know Jermaine's going to be sticking up for Hunter Henry. Like, what did Hunter Henry? He better have said after the game it was my fault, because he wouldn't be getting any more balls if it were me. But, you know, I mean, it's one play in a game that, you know, all right, they didn't have their best stuff, but they won. I mean, that's the most important thing, you know, that gives the coach a chance to exhale a little bit, and also gives the coach a great teaching tape. You know, you learn from wins just as much as you learn from losses. And I think what they did learn is this is how you slam the door shut so the other team doesn't have a chance. And I think the defense did that after that second to last offensive series. And certainly the offense did that, especially with the pass to Hunter Henry that won for that first down on 3rd and 5. So I don't know. They're a really, really solid team. I would say that, yeah, right now they are a top 5 team in the league, no question. And you take a look at their next 4 games. I think out of the next 4 games, they're all tough. But the next 4 games, next week at Tampa will be the toughest of the next 4. I mean, this team could get to, I don't know, man. Could they get to 14-3 and 13-4? I think they can.
Oh, I hate saying it on this show with the jinx, but I think they can.
Yeah. Boomer, works perfectly. Is it too early to start talking about this team being a legitimate Super Bowl contender?
No, I mean, look, with the way the NFL is going right now, with all the injuries that are piling up all over the league, the lack of defense, the one thing I will say about the Patriots, they play defense. It's one of probably 5 teams, and that's the other impressive part about what Drake Maye has done the last 2 weeks. He's played against, statistically, 2 of the better defenses in the league and has had really good games, even though he wasn't totally happy with his game yesterday. The game against Cleveland was really good too. But I would say because of the balance of the team, because they have good, solid special teams, I mean, and they beat Buffalo, who made Kansas City look pedestrian yesterday, I would sit here and say, yes, as long as they stay healthy, which is the key aspect of it all.
You're very familiar with this, but is the old Daniel Jones back?
I had a tough day yesterday. I mean, you know, Cam Hayward had a meeting with his defense last week after they got trounced by the Packers, who looked like crap yesterday against the Panthers, by the way. It's a week-to-week league in the NFL. And Cam Hayward went to his defensive players and said, guys, we got to step it up now. We've been giving up way too many yards, and the offense has been carrying us. And yesterday, you know, the Colts stepped into a hornet's nest. That's all I can say. So Daniel had his worst game of the year. And I'm sure he'll bounce back, because looking at their schedule, I think they have a really good chance to at least get the double-digit wins as well.
Boomy, you talked a little bit about this, but dive deeper into how important is it to win a game like that yesterday, where you've been in games where you've been able to win blowouts, but you win a game that you controlled and you make mistakes and you almost give it away. How important is that for a team to show, like, we can win in a number of different ways? You know,
it's about confidence. And I think about the Giants here. You know, they step on the field, they know they have no chance to win. They know it. I mean, the Jets may win one here when they're especially if they play the worst defense in the history of the NFL, which is the Bengals right now. But I just, there's a confidence about an air about a team that is winning and expects to win. And, you know, they all step on the field. They don't want to be the reasons why a team loses. And you go back and you look at the Patriots' 2 losses, and you look at who they lost to. If they would have played those teams later on in the season, they'd probably be undefeated right now. That's how well they're playing. And like I said, they didn't play the most perfect game yesterday, but they expected to win the game. So to answer your question, Jermaine, it's everything. It's a belief that you can win. The coach is standing up in front of the team. He's going to make fun of some guys today, making a mistake here, a mistake there, give out some game balls. Everybody looks forward to coming to work. Everybody looks forward to the next opportunity. I mean, they are in a great spot right now.
Question of the week for Boomer is presented by McFarland Energy, the region's most dependable provider of home heating oil delivery and expert HVAC services. Find them at mcfarlandenergy.com. Where does Mike Vrabel sit on your list when it comes to Coach of the Year, Boomer?
You know, I figured you were going to ask me that. He's a top 5 guy. Mike McDonald in Seattle. I would say Shane Steichen in Indianapolis. You'd have to say Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. I don't know. I swear to God, I don't know how the hell they're winning football games. The amount of injuries that they have.
It's because of Mac Jones. It's Mac Jones.
Boy, Mac Jones is out there. Man, it's amazing. But Kyle Shanahan is much like, like Josh McDaniels is the quarterback whisperer. Like whoever the quarterback is who's playing for those guys that are designing and calling the plays seems to play really well. So, yeah, Mike's up there, but, we're halfway through the season. We got a long way to go. And for all those teams that had rough, first half of the seasons, they can easily turn it around. And I think Baltimore is one of those teams to keep an eye on because I do think that they have a really good shot at making the playoffs because you look at their schedule, and, I mean, they could run roughshod over the next 4 or 5 teams they play if they played the way that they played last week.
Boomer, if you were Vrabel or Elliott Wolf in the trade deadlines tomorrow, what would be the main focus for this Pats team?
You always are looking for depth right now. I don't think there's anybody out there that's going to make a huge difference over the starters that they have playing their respective positions. Everybody wants a defensive lineman. Everybody wants a cornerback, and everybody could use another extra running back. And, I think those are probably the 3 areas. And let's not forget, Jacoby Myers is out there. And I think Buffalo would love to have him. And maybe New England keeps him away from Buffalo. I don't know. That could be in the thought process of Elliott Wolf as well. So, those 4 positions, I don't necessarily know that they're going to do anything that's going to be earth-shattering. But the fact that they traded away White and Duggar, tells you a lot about how comfortable they are with the young players on this team.
Boomer, is this the year that Mahomes does not make the AFC Championship game?
I mean, I thought that they were the best team for the last 3 weeks. I really did. I thought that their defense was smothering people. They were scoring 30 points per game. And yesterday was a little bit of a wake-up call. He did not look great yesterday. However, Josh Allen did look great. I mean, Josh Allen was Superman yesterday. And that's the guy that I would worry about if I were New England. I mean, that one player right there is playing at such a high level that, they are going to be really tough to beat again a second time. But I can't wait for that matchup. It's still probably about 5-6 weeks away from now, but that will be the biggest game of the week, obviously, when those 2 teams get together.
All right, Boomer. Always great to talk to you. We'll do it again next week.
You know what? I love Victory Monday in New England because we never have Victory Monday down here in New York. So
Sorry
thanks for having me. I appreciate it.